Hey y'all, I'm Taylor Chandler, licensed marriage and family therapist and personal development coach. We're doing a reaction video today on Cam Newton and Demetri Wiley. Quick announcement, I have a YouTube member portion of my channel, so you'll see content there if you go to that tab. I've got a $5 tier and a $10 tier. That's for people who are particularly interested in more coaching content and learning. Also, if you just want to support the channel on a regular basis, it's just a $5 and a $10 tier. That would be a monthly thing. Even if you don't want to consume the content that's over there. We're going to find things that are a little bit deeper into self-development, relational development, deeper into topics around that. Okay, even things about like productivity, goals, health, fitness, that kind of stuff. So that is there. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, engaging the channel, the sincere messages and comments that I've received. I certainly appreciate it. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and it goes a longer way than you probably realize. So I really thank you for that. I encourage more women to speak up. You know, those of you that are listening, but have been kind of more apprehensive about speaking up, I get it. And I encourage you to speak up. And gentlemen, you know, when women do that, I think encouraging and saying something positive can be really helpful. I'm not implying this is going to change online culture or change the world or something like that, but I do think that it's a positive thing to do. I think what is really unhelpful is when you have like a woman saying something really positive and aligned here, and then you have a man underneath who says something really negative and misplaced. Like, for example, a woman might say something, you know, she's taking accountability for something, and then a man comes underneath saying like, well, it's too late, you're cooked. You know, I mean, it's just really distasteful. And so that is not, it's just not appropriate, right? I can't control the comments, but I can just say that, you know, I notice it, and I don't, and it definitely isn't helpful. There's a lot of things that aren't helpful, but that's one of them. So, you know, and I think that when that kind of stuff is checked, I think that is really positive. So I just want to say that I won't harp on it too much, but women, I see you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you speaking up. Men, I see you. I appreciate you speaking up. I think there are definitely those of us that are for the cause, for the mission, and who are aligned with these values. And so I'm just excited about it. Let's get into this reaction video. Cam Newton, Demetri Wiley. Let's get it.
Being in love, you'll accept and see all of the negative traits about a person, all the bad, and you'll still love them through it. A lot of times being in love is scary because you tend to believe that your love can fix somebody or heal somebody or mend the broken parts of somebody. And then you go to realize it can't. Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton, the son, Mr. Booger, all here with another episode of Funky Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I promise, I really do promise to give good content for the masses, but most of all, ladies and gentlemen, I promise to always keep it funky. Now, my next guest, oh my goodness, where should I start? I'm gonna start with an artist. I'm gonna start with a podcast. I'm gonna start with an individual that's always repping the shot. He's a father, Mr. Just want to get this off my chest. The lost lover boy. I present to some and introduce to others, Demetri Wiley.
It is a pleasure to be here with you, my brother.
How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed by the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You understand me? I'm in rooms I dreamt about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ain't dreamed to be
God is good. God is good.
all the time.
God is good.
You got this little raspy voice. You got that whisper. Hey, baby, let me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, why don't me and you just, you know what I'm saying, kick it?
You know what's crazy?
Like Luke Kane.
What's crazy, my voice been like this since I was like 12. I was in school. I was second grade, third grade, whatever age that is when you're about 12, man. You want two of them Laffy Taffies, girl, I got you. Don't even worry about it. That was me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it been that way. And I grew up, and I really didn't think it was much to it, but now it's what everybody talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed. I told you I'm blessed. I can't help it.
I was about to say Mr. Raspy, but I don't want, not Raspy, but it's a joke. It's a joke. I kid. Man, talk to me. I'm interested in this conversation because I think, you know, the content that you produce and, you know, your following is a rather intriguing one.
So are y'all familiar with Demetri? First time I came across Kim was when honestly, I know you did tonight's conversations, and I think people that I know connected with tonight's conversations were connected with him. And that's how I came across him. And then I think he ended up being on tonight's conversation because he had like his own podcast first, I'm pretty sure. And he goes by like Lost Lover Boy. I don't know him actually personally.
Right. And I think when you talk about the Lost Lover Boy concept, explain that.
You know, man, I've always been a lover myself, you know, the movies, the music, my parents have been together 35 years now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. It's all of what I've known. So I grew up searching for that. I grew up looking for it, and everything I did, I was never designed to be the playboy. I was designed to be somebody's husband. And I knew it from a very, very young age. I wanted to do the things my dad did. I wanted to live like it. So I grew up, and it just so happened, you know, when I was younger.
That's a big deal, right? Like just modeling in and of itself. Like what you see in your house growing up, what you see just in your family, what you see close by you makes such a big difference. It does not determine your outcomes for sure. There is so much evidence that says that you can do something different than the environment that you grow up in. But the point is though, that your environment, what you grew up seeing is inevitably going to make an impact. So I appreciate him sharing a little bit about like where that lover boy really came from. He grew up, he says he saw his dad and he wanted to be like that. And that just makes a lot of sense.
I thought I knew who was for me at 13. I was walking out of the park, I just met somebody, and it didn't work out.
And that's, I mean, you thought that you knew what you wanted at 13. The thing is, I just don't, like, what does that even mean? What could you possibly, how could, like, I'm not saying he doesn't know. I don't know how I have a conversation with Demetri. If he was here, this is what I would ask him. Like, what is that? What did that mean to say, like, I thought that I knew what I wanted? Well, what did you think that you wanted at age 13 that you saw immediately walking in the park? Because in other words, like I'm getting at, you know, maybe it's someone that you're really attracted to. There's some kind of spark immediately, and that's what made you kind of think, oh, that's what I want. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
But the point being, I think it sounds kind of deep, and I think just maybe not that deep, you know, at age 13. But I don't know. Let me say this. Let me go ahead and get this disclaimer out of the way. I'm gonna stop saying I don't know because this is a reaction video, and you know, I'm new to this, so it is being myself, being as careful as I've been to make sure that everything is said in a way that can't be a problem and all of that. It honestly, y'all, it's taking me a bit. It's still a challenge for me to give myself permission to just say what it is that I actually think. So I'll just say this, you know, this is a reaction video, and I'm going to allow myself as best as I can to just say what I think without trying to make it sound, you know, without trying to put disclaimers on it and cover every single other thing it might be other than what I naturally think when I hear something. Okay. This is not therapy. Demetri is not my client. Cam is not my client. You're not my client. Okay. So this is not therapy. This is also not what therapy sounds like if you were in a session with me. So this is a reaction video. We are on YouTube. Okay. Let's keep going.
It didn't work out. Years of thinking this is who was for me. And I'm talking about, I was 13. She went away, life separated. Years later, we rekindled, 18. All them years, every woman that crossed my path into my mind, I was like, she coming back.
It sounds really deep.
This is the one.
But I'm just wondering, is it that deep? Or is it just like you just have a kind of a deep, it's a strong attachment to someone really young? I mean, I wonder how many people, you know, can say, you know, when we were young, there was someone who you thought there was something about this person, and then when you grow older, you look back in retrospect and kind of say, oh, that wasn't anything like that.
I was like, this is what God put me here for, like to love this woman. And I truly thought that. But when it didn't work out, man, to think, you know, they say you want to be funny, tell a joke to God. You want to hear something funny, tell God your plans.
Well, I think just what's interesting to me is like he's framing it like, yeah, that it really was. Let me see, how do I say this? Let's say he's in his 30s. I don't know how old he is exactly. Let's say he's 31. I guess the thing that's standing out to me is the way he's presenting it is as if he hasn't retrospected and said, oh, I thought it was that, but really it was just kind of like this little puppy love thing. I mean, he's presenting it like it really was that deep.
And I did. And it was the greatest heartbreak I've known to date, you know, and it created that lost love.
At 13?
No, I was grown by that time, but it was created at 13. Like, do you believe love at
Is 18 grown? I mean, I get it, just you're a legal adult, right? But you know.
first sight exists?
No.
Man, when I tell you I do, when I tell you I walked in, she walked out, time froze. Everything. I didn't care about nothing else, but who is this?
I believe in lust at first sight.
You think so?
I know so.
See, I'm more with Cam here, right? And in this interview, I think this sort of sparked this online conversation a little bit about, do you believe at love at first sight, right? Like, is what Demetri, kind of what I was casting some question about, doubt on, let's just go on and say doubt, casting doubt on, with Demetri. Other people were feeling it too. Cam is feeling it here. Where it's like, you sure you want to call that love? Is that love at first sight? Is that possible? And everyone's gonna have their own ideas about that. I do not think that love at first sight is possible. I do think that a sense of like a big spark, a big draw, a big pull, lust, of course, at first sight can happen. I do not think that love at first sight can happen. And this is where I think it's helpful to get someone's understanding of what do you mean by love at first sight? Like, what is that? What to define? Like, what does that entail to you?
And would lust happen to take over at 13? Because it was not like I was trying to, I didn't know too much about, you know what I'm saying, the grown. So I wasn't trying to take her down. I just wanted to love this woman.
Let's stay here.
I'm looking like Cam.
So you believe in love at first sight?
I do.
You did or you do?
I do.
Okay. So
Cam being careful. He's like, I'm trying not to totally dismantle and discredit or invalidate what you're saying, but are you for real?
So explain your theories behind giving me logic or merit that backs that.
So for me, just how I was designed, I think when people ask me, who am I think I'm just an embodiment of love. Like that, they say live like God, God is love. I give that out in general. But when we talk about a romantic sense, this is where love at first sight comes in. So for me, what overtook me in that moment was a desire to satisfy, to please, and you know, most see conquer. I didn't have a desire to conquer. I wanted to mend.
I just don't know how you even know what a desire to please. And again, just room for more questions, right? For Demetri, because not saying it cannot happen. I am wondering about it though, because you have a desire to please and to
desire to satisfy.
To satisfy at 13, what could that possibly mean to you? How much of and you could see, right? We can see maybe been parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, like them having a healthy relationship even, right? But how thorough could your understanding be of what it means to do that? And if you don't have a sense of what it means to do that, could you, with integrity and sincerity, say that you want to do it at all? Like, if you don't even know exactly what it entails or what it is to desire, or what it is to satisfy a woman or satisfy a man. I wonder if that made sense. I wonder how that landed for you.
To please, and you know, most see conquer. I didn't have a desire to conquer. I wanted to mend. I wanted to help. I wanted to aid. All these things overwhelmed me before I knew this young woman's name.
I wanted to mend. I wanted to aid. Now, if this is real, this seems like a true, I'm not even gonna go there.
Name.
I'll leave it at that.
I'm talking about it was deep. It was so deep that
to mend and to heal. This is the issue. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This sounds so unlikely and unrealistic that this is where it's easy to say that someone, that Demetri or anybody who might say something like that is like pandering or just outright lying. Again, I do not know Demetri. If he would want to come on here and talk about his experience, I would absolutely welcome him to. Right. So, I mean, you know, I hope y'all have a sense of me well enough to know, like, you know, it's no like true shade or personal disrespect at all. What I am saying though is that in general, like when we're talking about these online conversations or people, you know, out in public having, you know, saying these kinds of things, this sounds so unrealistic, especially at the age of 13, that it really sounds like you're just being so romantic and unrealistic that you are leading women to believe, or anybody, but women are especially attracted to him. You know, his audience is mainly women. Okay, not all women, but mainly women, and it can sound like you're leading women to a fantasy, a fantastical idea that doesn't really exist for at least the huge majority of people.
Every single woman around me was faceless. And I don't know if you've been there, but for my brothers who have been there, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Faceless.
Faceless.
Compliments.
See, this doesn't even make sense. Like it's like that's like metaphor. That's poetic language, and I think he's like a poet kind of person. That's fine. That's fine. Sort of that's like a poetic way, a romantic way to say that I only had interest in that person. Yes, I think that is very real. Like, okay, I could see two people attracted. I got interest in this one. But to say is there people are faceless, you can't even see. you can't even see that someone's attractive. You can't see that someone's unattractive. And everybody just ceases to exist. That's not real. That's not real. That is not accurate. I think I'm comfortable saying that can't be true. That's like somebody saying they're colorblind, or excuse, like yeah. When someone's saying like I don't see color, black, white, I don't see color, and they can have good intentions. So let me be clear when I say that, like they can have good intentions. It's like what you're trying to say is I value humans as they are, but you see color. You do see that someone's black. You see I'm black, and you see that this person's white. You see it, but you know. So to say that you just don't see it can be good intention, but it also can sound just disingenuous, because yes, you do. You see people. You very interested, attracted, attached to this person, but you can see people. I mean, faceless is just romantic language. To just make a point. But when you speak like that and you don't own that, okay, yeah, I can see people, but I was really interested in that one. When you're not speaking in a more grounded way, people can discredit you. Okay, people can call you disingenuous. People could see it being as disingenuous or misleading, because what you're saying is like truly not real. Like, it's not possible. And people who want to believe that it is, make it difficult for people in reality to have a conversation about reality, because they'll stick to poetic romantic stuff, and it's like, and you can't be real with them. So that's why rhetoric like this is actually kind of problematic. But I'm not speaking anything about like his intentions. I think typically I don't speak about someone's intentions or motivations, and so I don't really get into all that unless it's like clear that someone's blatantly, lying or something. That's not what I'm saying Demetri's doing. I think it could potentially be a blind spot.
Don't hit the same because everything stems from wanting it from this person.
We're talking about still love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
So you see somebody, and she's attractive, and every other woman around is faceless.
It's not a she's attractive type of thing. It's more of a that's my wife. It's more of a and here's the foolish aspect to it. I told you think you know God's plan, and He'll show you.
See, Cam tried to be like, no, be for real, like, and Demetri didn't really. He kind of swerved away from it.
That's my wife. It's more of a, and here's the foolish aspect to it. I told you think you know God's plan, and He'll show you otherwise. But it was more so, that's the woman I see the future with. See, a lot of people get in a relationship these days, and they're dating people, and I tell them off top, if you can't see yourself with this in this woman in your future, you're already dealing with the wrong person.
That's real.
The first thing I envision when
I think that's real. Like if you're like, oh no, like I couldn't see it. I mean, at this, if you're a serious person, you just don't continue those kinds of connections.
Dating somebody is, can I see you old? If I cannot envision what you look like at 80 years old, 90 years old, us holding hands then, it can't make sense to me in my brain.
And you're gonna see all that at first sight?
You can see it at first sight. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be there. Watch everybody who's been at love first sight. Hey, comment that. I want to hear it. It happens. I'm telling you.
You know.
Yeah, at first sight, I think when you say like, can I see myself old with that person? You're considering some things like, okay, I can see me. You know something about somebody to be sincere saying that. Like you can just spot somebody and be like, I can see my whole future. Maybe it's like someone you're attracted to, like, oh, I would like to be with somebody that looked like that for my whole life. But I'm definitely more with Cam right here.
I didn't even know a name.
Okay. So you believe in love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how many times have you truly been in love?
How many times have I truly been in love? I'm gonna say twice.
How many times have you told somebody that you loved them?
How many times have I told somebody I love them?
How many women can say, yo, Demetri told me that he loved me?
Probably like 4.
In your whole life?
In my whole life. I've only been in 3 serious relationships.
No matter, but that don't mean you can't tell nobody that you love them.
Now, here's the difference though. It's the difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody. You know the difference, Cam? Talk to me now.
I don't.
See, let me break it down.
Love is love to me.
See, that's the thing. But love ain't just, it's not that simple. See, love has layers to it. I could love you for you just being who you are. Or I could be in love with you for you being who you are. That accepts the bad, the good.
Love is love.
The difference, Cam?
Let me see.
2 relationships in my whole.
He loved me.
Probably like 4.
In your whole life?
In my whole life. I've only been in 3 serious relationships.
No matter, but that don't mean you can't tell nobody that you love them.
Now, here's the difference though. It's the difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody. You know the difference, Cam? Talk to me now.
I don't.
See, let me break it down.
Love is love to me.
See, that's the thing. But love ain't just, it's not that simple. See, love has layers to it. I could love you for you just being who you are. Or I could be in love with you for you being who you are. That accepts the bad, the good, the ugly. See, being in love is blinding sometimes. Being in love, you'll accept and see all of the negative traits about a person, all the bad, and you'll still love them through it. You a lot of times being in love is scary.
Definitely, I think there's a difference between loving someone and being in love with them. So I'm with Demetri on that. It's definitely different.
And you'll still love them through it. You a lot of times being in love is scary because you tend to believe that your love can fix somebody or heal somebody or mend the broken parts of somebody. And then you go to realize it can't. But being
no. See, no. Now we off. Now we off a little bit. No. Being in love with that's sort of like these unhealthy attachments kind of thing. I know some people are going to hear trauma bonds in what he's describing. But no, being in love with someone doesn't mean that you think you're going to be able to heal them. Like a healthy view is to know that person, everyone has to do their own work. Everyone has to eat their own food. And no matter what kind of plate you put in front of them. So being in love with someone doesn't necessarily mean that you think that you can heal them. Some people, I'm sure, like Demetri, he's really talking about himself, that he thinks that being in love with someone, you think you could heal them, and but that's definitely not a healthy view of love.
Scary because you tend to believe that your love can fix somebody.
So he should be saying I tend to believe, because I believe that.
Or heal somebody or mend the broken parts of somebody. And then you go to realize it can't. But being in love it don't just cut off with the flick of a switch. I love my mama, but I'm not in love with my mama. My wife, I'm in love with that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not married. I'm speaking future tense because my mind has always been there since 13.
Okay. Have you ever been married?
No.
Have you ever proposed to somebody?
No.
So why should somebody listen to you?
Well, I think the thing about it is, I don't encourage people to. And reason being, because if you're not a lover, you won't understand. And I truly want people to see that the most vulnerable parts of you are the best parts of you. See, a lot.
All right, Demetri is very poetic. He's very poetic, making me have to, they communicate so differently. These are two very different types of men. They communicate very, very differently. Cam is speaking quite concretely, and he's kind of just trying to like nail down some definitions. Like he's like, what is this? Is it that? Demetri is much more like, say, spacious with his language. He's much more descriptive with his language. He's metaphoric. He's poetic. So they're communicating very, very differently. It doesn't mean like right or wrong, but it's very different. Sometimes when you have two people who are so different in their expression, they can feel like the other person is wrong, think that the other person is wrong, because they're just communicating in sort of like different languages. I want to hear this again.
To you.
Well,
so why should somebody,
and that's, everybody has their own ideas about this, right? What Cam just asked, because if you're not married, why should someone listen to you?
It's 13.
Okay. Have you ever been married?
No.
Have you ever proposed to somebody?
No.
So why should somebody listen to you?
So he's not even saying like you need to be all the way married, but just have you even wanted to be, you even been in a place where you wanted to commit your life to someone? You felt that strongly, you thought that strongly about somebody. And Demetri's saying no. And everyone's going to have has their own ideas about what, who they're willing to listen to, and like what that person needs to be qualified in their eyes. I think that's different for different people. For me, if someone has good advice or good wisdom, and they have aligned values and things like that, I don't think that someone's like life status, relationship status, determines whether I should listen to them or not. And I know that having certain experiences gives you a different dimension of understanding, a different vantage point to be able to speak to. So there is another level and layers and a different type of personal experience you have when you've actually been in it. So I think that both things can be true. That the relationship experience, that someone doesn't have to have the relationship experience or be in the relationship status to have good relationship advice. And if someone is, and when someone is, they do have a different vantage point. So, I have podcast episodes from years ago before this. So, and it was helpful for a lot of people in relationships. Still not having ever had been, this deep in this type of relationship, right? Where now it's a whole lifelong commitment. So, definitely speaking from my own experience, I know that people can be helpful, and there's a different layer to it when you're actually in the experience.
Well,
that's what I think.
I think the thing about it is, I don't encourage people to. And reason being, because if you're not a lover, you won't understand. And I truly want people to see that the most vulnerable parts of you are the best parts of you. See, a lot of people in this world we live in today are like sheltered and closed off to the idea on opening up. You see, it's hard for man to actually hear that I'm not okay and accept that in. We walk around with it like we're this masculine figure, but a lot of times the person who's going to love you the best is going to accept that quality in you. So when you ask me why should people listen to me, I'm giving out the vulnerability for other people to be able to accept it in. Okay. I speak to people in general before I even meet them. I speak to you like I love you off top. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only that in me. So for me, I don't call myself a therapist. I don't call myself an expert. I call myself a man who understands love, who may be able to help you understand it a little better.
All right, yeah, that answer was sufficient for you. Why should people listen to me? It sounds like what he's saying is people should listen to me because I think the big part was I do the vulnerability thing, and that can help you to be more vulnerable, and that's necessary to have loving relationships. I think that's fair to say he said that in there. He obviously cares about love. But yeah, I mean, I think he's clear, like, I'm not a professional in this. Okay, cool. I do not think you have to be, licensed or credentialed to be speaking about relationships, to have good ideas about relationships, be helpful. It sounds like what he's saying, though, is that the vulnerability piece and the way that he's showing up can help other people to show up more loving. I think that is fair to say.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's what he's saying.
So if you ain't ever been married, if you loved multiple people, are you with any one of those two?
Absolutely. I got a
Cam's, I'm gonna speak to the body language, because I think I'm gonna speak to the body language. Cam's facial expressions and his body language are quite, I won't say invalidating, dismissive. It's definitely not giving open and curious towards Demetri. He's skeptical, apprehensive, he's questioning, he's challenging, he's softballing, but he's like, he's not coming off as being really open and trusting to what Demetri says.
Incredible young lady. My name is Caitlin Davis. A lot of people know her as Kate the Great, but an incredible woman.
So she's one of those two?
She's one of the two.
Where's the other one?
The other one is actually my child's mother, the 13.
Okay.
The one I met when I was 13.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the two women that he has loved, been in love with.
So if those two women are in your life right now, how does a person really generalize that what you're saying can actually benefit their lives? Because there's no doubt about, I mean, I've seen your content. I've liked it, didn't comment, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not realistic.
You don't think so?
I don't, this is just me personally. I don't think it's realistic, because I think a lot of people get so caught into the fairy tale that, hey, this real life. Hey, this person that you love, they gonna have a Princess Fiona side that's, when she go to sleep, she gonna wake up looking like an ogre. Hey, her breath gonna stink. Hey, she got a bad attitude. Hey, she ain't working, but can you see greatness in her still? Hey, can you bring her back to life? Hey, she went through some stuff. Can you mend that heart and have her have her be a part of what your vision is? Is she even compatible for those things? A lot of those things are going to take time. See, people oftentimes generalize love as Bora Bora, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
I thought that was good for Cam. I thought that was good. He's talking about basically like the realities of it, and that's what it seems like he keeps like fishing for with Demetri. Like he's like, be for real. So I think he's kind of trying to ground it in like, this. But what's really going on is like you have to deal with some stuff with people, not just this like fantastical idea of like, oh, I just want to serve you and give you all that you desire. Like sometimes you irritated, and like are you really loving through that? And I think he's challenging Demetri here, where it's like, if you have not fully taken it there with somebody, how can you know that you could, how do you know how you're really handling that? Or are you actually handling that? If that is a part of love, being with these like more unfavorable or unpleasant kinds of experiences that are also included in love, not just the love at first sight kind of feeling. I think that's sort of where Cam is, what Cam's trying to do is like kind of ground in the reality, which can sound unfavorable, unpleasant.
For those things, a lot of those things are going to take time. See, people oftentimes generalize love as Bora Bora, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Hey, couple goals. Hey, we're doing this together. They don't generalize love as arguments. They don't generalize love as like, bro, I'm really sick of you right now. They don't generalize love as like, yo, I don't want to see you, but your food on the table. Hey, I don't want to talk to you, but hey, you straight, you good, is your gas filled up? Hey, matter of fact, here go money. I don't even want to see, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times we're living in a world that even though we say love, a lot of love that I see, witness, is transactional. If you do this, then you get this. If you don't do this, then you don't get this.
which I would not call love. You know, all these words are challenging because it's like, you know, he said it's love, but it's transactional. It's like, well, let's probably not even call it love, right? In transactional relationship, I wouldn't call that love. Probably just call it a an agreement, a type of like contract, a type of like contract.
Which, in essence, that's not love to me. That's just,
You know, it's funny because I'm listening to you describe it, but it sounds like you believe in exactly what I preach. I don't go around telling people that love is the vacations, love is being out of town, love is the gifts, love is the presents. Love is accepting somebody for exactly who they are in every moment. I understand my woman ain't gonna wake up the same way she went to sleep when we went out yesterday to kick it. I understand that. But love is seeing her in essence, before the makeup hits the face, before she put the dress on. Love is, do you love the one who acts a little different when that menstrual hit? Do you love the one who you can deal with when she a little hungry and she not, it's loving every part of her.
Okay, so you see they're trying to get Demetri saying like, hey, we're not that far apart from this love idea of love than you think.
It's not just loving pieces. See, that's the problem with today's society. You're right. They fall in love with loving the piece social media tells them to love. But in all actuality, there's a piece deeper that you have to find. See, before I was in this relationship I'm currently in, I spent years by myself. And everybody was like, you give this great advice and you know so much about love, just pick somebody. It's not as simple as picking somebody. It's about finding someone you align with. See, and I'm not even talking about you communicate well with, but somebody we can get in an argument and you can slow it down to say, baby, I just didn't mean it like that. I apologize that hurt your feelings, but those weren't my intentions. You can apologize. See, I love arguments. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the disagreement because we can align after the fact. And the thing about marriage, everybody does idealize marriage, like everybody. But the thing about it is, to me, marriage is simply a sheet of paper.
I'll be real with you. I mean, yeah, I appreciate that he met the reality of that he met reality. Okay, I do, but I just think it honestly, it is kind of just, it's just noticeable to me how light it all. Like I love our love disagreements. Listen, I'm a therapist. I'm pretty aware and I'm pretty talented, skilled, and gifted at working through conflict. Okay. As a matter of fact, we have a couples workshop all about conflict on March 7th. I did not plan to plug that, but why not? So I got a workshop coming up on March 7th. It is free for couples. Highly recommend that you come. I think that I am really good at resolving conflicts. Okay. I actually almost went to school. Literally, this is a side note. I almost went to school for crisis management, like that kind of thing. So I think I just always had this idea. I'm really good at like kind of bringing things in, resolving, decompressing, making sure that everything kind of comes landing the plane. Okay. And I do not like conflict. I'm not about to come up here and tell nobody. Literally look forward to it. I love it because we end up closer together. No thanks. No. Although I understand it does help us get closer together. That's true. Although I understand it does help us to understand each other better. That's true. Although I do understand it helps us to prepare for what it is that we need, how we need to be in the future. That's true. It does mature us and develop us. Yes. Do I like it? No, I don't. Am I grateful for that, for positive outcomes from productive conflict? Yes, I am. So again, I just think that that's being just realistic. So to me, it flags to me when someone's like, I just love conflict, bring it. You know what I mean? But maybe he really does feel like that. That's just what I think.
After the fact. Honest with you. I love the disagreement because we can align after the fact. And the thing about marriage, everybody does idealize marriage, like everybody. But the thing about it is, to me, marriage is simply a sheet of paper, simply a contract. Everything I will be in this marriage.
I wish people would just stop saying that. I get the sentiment, marriage is just a piece of paper, but no, the document is literally a sheet of paper. The marriage license, that's literally a sheet of paper. But see, the way people use language does matter, y'all. Let me just stop clicking around. I think it matters. Marriage is not cheap, but marriage is a relationship with somebody. It's not just a sheet of paper. Please, can we just stop bypassing over, like passing over that? Like someone's just like, oh yeah, it's just a sheet of paper. Oh yeah, you're right. Like you did just, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not just a sheet of paper. A marriage license, okay. Okay, documents, contracts, prenuptial agreements, postnuptial agreements. That's what she is. Like the paper itself is paper. The marriage is not paper, but people use that and I think it's an oversimplification. I think at this point, it is like hurting us to say that. And I think we just need to start parsing out words at this point. But maybe I'm splitting hairs. Maybe I'm nitpicky. You tell me.
I've showed you I have the capability to be beforehand. I was already loving you this way. And we talk about what gets done and who spends this. And like you said, things are transactional. But I promise you, Cam, as sure as I sit here today, love is when you don't keep tabs on the transactions. Love is when you forget what you spend. Love is forgetting what you did that last birthday. Love is not holding each other accountable for being human. Like we're human.
Hold up. Let me see what Cam says to
Get what you spend. Love is forgetting what you did
and then I'll say what I think.
That last birthday. Love is not holding each other accountable for being human. Like we're human. We gonna disagree. We gonna not understand each other. I'm not always gonna do what you like. Sure. That's why alignment is so important. One of my favorite things about you, Cam, you're yourself everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Alignment is finding a woman who understands that and accepts you. And I know you to be in a relationship, am I correct?
For sure.
How is it? Do you feel like you're understood in your relationship?
Say it one more time.
Do you feel understood in your relationship?
Absolutely.
Do you feel seen in your relationship?
Demetri go kind of fast. It's kind of like, hey, whoa, let's kind of back up. See, what did you just say? Did you just say that we don't have to hold people accountable because they're human? Huh? See, look, I actually seem like I have a lot of issues actually with the way you're saying. I think we're kind of seeing that. I think maybe that's not the right way to say it. Issues, questions. I got some deeper questions because when this stuff plays out in real life, it doesn't go well because we need boundaries. We need in my opinion, y'all, we need boundaries. We need standards. We need accountability. Just being like, oh, I'm not. And this is one of these other things that people say. Oh, love, don't track anything. And I get it. I think even if you want to use Bible, love keeps no record of wrongs or something like that. It's something just like that, right? And whether you're Christian or not, you've heard something like that, right? Don't keep tallies, don't track. The same time, and I think that the people are going to feel differently about this. I don't think it's about keeping literal tally marks. Oh, I did this, so now you do that. Let's be even all the time. But you also need to be equally invested and putting into the relationship. That's what I think. You're investing in the ways that you're able. I think it's 100 for everybody, right? And 100 for both people. 100% in, 100% in. So when someone says like keep no track, I get don't be petty. And also though, I think you kind of check in general, like, hey, am I doing all the work and you sitting back and relaxing on either side, right? Man or woman. I really do believe that's just for everybody, man and woman. So it's not about, I don't think, being petty. And at the same time, I think being aware of like, okay, are we about, it feels very mutual, very reciprocal, mutual investment. I have a general sense that my general temperature, the temperature in the space, my pulse on the relationship there's a mutual investment and there's reciprocal interest and investment going on here. Okay. So call it nitpicky or
understand each other. I'm not always going to do what you like. That's why alignment is so important. One of my favorite things about you, Cam, you're yourself everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Alignment is finding a woman. Birthday. Love is forget what you spend tabs on. You, Cam, as sure as I sit here today, love is when you don't keep tabs on the transactions. Love is when you
see, like, who can really afford that? It just sounds. I get the idea, but when you're like, no, be serious. Like, be really like walk through that. Walk me through a year in a relationship of what that would look like if you did not pay attention to what you spent. You just said, hey, I love you. So ain't no nothing to price tag. We don't price tag. Walk me through 6 months in a relationship, a serious relationship where you're seeing each other 2-3 times a week, and especially as a man, because a man's usually the one that's going to be paying more, right? Much more often than not. It's not all the time, but much more often than not. So walk me through as a man what it would look like seeing someone 2-3 times a week as you're getting to know this person. You know, you're aligned. He said it's because you aligned, so you're aligned, and you just don't keep record of the price tag. Don't pay attention to how much you're swiping. Don't pay attention to the bank account. Walk me through what that really looks like and what the real impact of that is. See what I mean when it's like the idea sounds nice, but is it realistic?
Forget what.
And do you really live like that? Look, if you got it like that, hey, okay, but still, most people got it like that because they are paying attention to the prices.
You spend. Love is forgetting what you did that last birthday. Love is not holding each other accountable for being
Just
human.
be you. Hey,
Like we're human. We got
you human. Whatever. No, look, Demetri, if you want to talk, I would love to have you on.
we gonna disagree. We gonna not understand each other. I'm not always gonna do what you like. That's why alignment is so important. You know, one of my favorite things about you, Cam, you're yourself everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Alignment is finding a woman who understands that and accepts you. And I know you to be in a relationship, am I correct?
For sure.
How is it? Do you feel like you're understood in your relationship?
Say it one more time.
Do you feel understood in your relationship?
Absolutely.
Do you feel seen in your relationship?
And if I don't, I verbalize that and it gets corrected.
My point exactly, alignment.
And vice versa.
Exactly. And the thing about it is when you have a platform as large as yours and a voice as large.
Those two things Demetri just ran two things together that didn't actually go together. But he got Cam to agree, which usually when someone's listening to something, then it'll give them the impression that Cam agreed with just everything he said, because Demetri just squished two different ideas together. Okay, and I'm not just go back and look and see how that happened. He was talking about this stuff that was like whatever, and then was like, hey, do you feel understood? Cam was like, yeah, he got Cam back engaged. He got Cam to say yes. It's it's actually like a sales tactic. But I'm not saying Demetri's doing that on purpose. I think he's poetic. I think he's persuasive in his own way. So that was interesting.
Large as yours in the culture, for sure.
Thank you.
I'm just pointing stuff out. I'm not trying to pit anybody against each other or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just saying what I see. That's it.
A lot that you say doesn't resonate to a ton of people because it's not in their alignment. Mm-hmm. Your alignment and what works for your household is completely on you. That's why you being in love with somebody that other people would not be in love. It's easy for your woman to love you because it's you individually, not everybody else. And a lot of times we view everybody else's story online, all these relationships. Did you see the shit that happened with the Desmond and the Christie guy? Did you see that shit? Cam, listen to me. Cam, listen to me. A fall from glory if I tell you one. But the thing about it is, people ask me, they was like, man, I can't wait till you get a woman. You're gonna be all.
Demetri's saying a lot. When you really slow it down, it's kind of like there's a lot of going on here. But what I will say, I think that what something good that Demetri said was that, relationships are individual, right? What works for you is different than what works for someone else. I think the issue, if I want to make some kind of point here, is that, Demetri said being in love is this, but then he says, well, maybe it's different for you and you. So, I mean, honestly, that's not even it's hard to, I'm trying to thread it together because it's not a super cohesive segment right here, in my opinion. Now, if it's making sense to you and you want to explain something to me, I'm open to hearing it.
All over social media, you're gonna be posting these pictures, y'all gonna be out of town. None of that. Because I'm not doing it for social media.
How long you been dating?
I've been in a relationship since September. I've been dating the same woman since May, June.
So y'all are under a year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, how does co-parenting exist even though, does she still love you?
Does who still love me?
Your baby mother.
I believe so.
Huh?
I believe so.
Is she in her feelings when you are openly in a relationship with another woman?
No. I don't think so. And the reason I'll tell you why.
It's very, really challenging situation. I mean, nothing apparently Demetri can control. And of course, he really is speaking on behalf of her. Who knows what the mother of their child would say. He said that she is still in love with him and he is in a relationship with her, and they're, of course, actively co-parenting. So, I mean, complicated. I think that would be a complicated situation. That is not a situation that I would want to be in, but that's not my life. So, that, no, thank you. That's it for me. Well, thank you.
She has her own thing going on. My child's mother's engaged. My child's mother is.
See, I think, and then blow up the spot. So she engaged, but you on here on Cam Newton's podcast talking about she's in love with me, but she's engaged. I don't know if that's a dirty Mac. Does that count as a dirty Mac? Kinda. If I was that woman, I'd be like, let me just I'm not even gonna bring her into it because I do not know who she is. And I think that that's just a respectful thing to do. So I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, we'll speak to what Demetri just said, because he's the one on here. Demetri's got on here talking about she's still in love with me. She's engaged. She got a whole thing going on. But you the dad that keeps popping up and you engaged, and now you just told 1.77 million subscribers. I know somebody on here knows your ex. I know somebody on here knows your ex. 100% positive. I'm certain. Somebody gonna see that. And y'all think that's gonna cause no problem? Usually I don't even talk like that, right? But I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, this sounds kind of messy. You don't think that's gonna cause no problem? You do not. Let me say this. You do not think that's not that's gonna cause a problem. I'm pretty sure. Like in a normal situation, pretty sure I'm on Earth. I'm pretty sure, based on what I know about anything, I'm pretty sure that alone, because that alone could blow up an entire engagement. That's kind of reckless. In my opinion,
no,
that was not cool.
Huh?
But I guess it's kind of like, well, you're telling the truth, but what would I do in that situation if I was Demetri? So I'm not going to talk about the women because they're not here. They didn't agree to get on Cam Newton's podcast. Now they're talking about them. But if I was Demetri, I would have said no. If Cam said, he said, does she still love you? Which was a risky question, but it's a question. If I was Demetri, I would have said no to avoid the whole thing. Sometimes, y'all, there's something called discretion. There's something called discretion, and you don't have to, even if you really think that is the truth, or you really believe you really think you're being honest, or you really know for a fact, in this case, that she is in love with me. In some cases, like, you just, the better thing to do is to just say no, or I'm not going to speak on her. I'm not going to speak on how she feels about me. That's not something, she's not here, so I'm not going to speak on her. That, I think, would have been the better approach to that conversation, to that particular question. Because saying that she's still in love with you, and she's engaged and she got a whole thing going on, you could literally mess up the whole marriage, whole relation, whole engagement out. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm saying, like, that kind of being just overly, you got to say everything that you think and that you feel, clearly I think that was not a good move.
Co-parenting exists, even though, does she still love you?
Does who still love me?
Your baby mother.
I believe so.
Okay, I believe so.
I believe so.
Is she in her feelings?
And let me correct. He said, I believe so. Not yes, flat out. He said, I believe so. I think so. Just to be fair, I want to point that out.
When you are openly in a relationship with another woman?
No, I don't think so. And the reason I'll tell you why. She has her own thing going on. My child's mother's engaged. My child's mother is completely in a different household, and co-parenting in itself. The day my child's mother left the home, I sat up. I came up with a schedule, 50-50, Cam, because if I don't love nothing, I love being a parent. You have children? You have children? I got to ask.
9 of them.
Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations. You're rich. Abundance.
No.
Abundance. You say no.
No.
But
I'm pretty sure they'll see rich. What is that?
Abundance.
I work hard.
It's abundant, but not even monetary.
No, for sure.
It's just having that makes you rich. You know what I'm saying? And that's a goal. That's a goal of mine. That's what success is for me. To be able to afford to have it, to be able to have the emotional bandwidth to manage all them kids. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. But I came up with a schedule that moment that said, this is what we're gonna do with this baby. 50-50.
What 50?
So basically, what happens in your household happens in your household. What happens in my happens in my meaning. I buy the things over here, you buy the things over there. Dentists, doctors, schooling, schedules, all of that. I'll take care of it. You take care of whatever you choose to take care of, whatever, however it's needed. But the 50-50 part comes in. I don't even see my child's mother. The schedule goes.
And just so you know, because I'm gonna say this for anyone that's just listening to the audio, I put the playback speed up to 2 times. Okay, times 2.
Monday, Tuesday, she'll have them. Wednesday,
That's why it sounds so fast.
Thursday, I'll get them. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the person who had them Monday and Tuesday. And then it rotates. This has been rotating for years now.
So your 50-50 is visual scene.
My 50-50 is wherever it needs to be. And the thing about it is, I think if you was to ask my child, she's like, I got one of the best child's fathers ever. No fighting anything. You want to have this, we're going to have this. But my child has a room at my house, a highly decorated room too. But a room at my house, my child is one of the most spoiled kids I've ever in my life. But just the connection I have with my son, and those who been keeping up with me, you know, in my community understand that this is my bestie right here. You know what I'm saying? They ain't on here. He's 6. His name's Logan. Shout out my baby Logan, man. But that was something I was not willing to give up when this relationship was over. I know a lot of people can, sit and walk away and never care what happens. But I'm raising a man here. You know, I never saw myself raising a man. I want a daughter. I want a daughter real bad. And reason being because I think what a man can instill in a young woman is different. Different. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I told my girlfriend I'm super jealous of you in general.
Me?
No, her.
Oh.
I'm super jealous of her. But the household she was raised in, phenomenal.
Of your girl that you're dating now?
Yes.
Okay.
Her father, present. Still calling today. Say, baby, let me see the outfit. Her mama one of the softest women alive.
Your woman now, the woman that you're with or the lady that you're with, her parents are still together?
Yep. Raised in an incredible house.
Do you think that is important as far as something to consider?
Oh, that's a great question. I've never did. Honestly,
Hold on, let me make that right, because when social media hears certain things, my intentions behind.
Also, just shout out to Demetri for being such a present and involved father and just speaking about it with such enthusiasm. I think that's really cool. I don't have a commentary on parenting, on his parenting at all. So I appreciate that he is sharing that with such enthusiasm. I think that's great.
I think that is important. Your woman now, the woman that you're with or the lady that you're with, her parents are still together?
Yep. Raised in an incredible house.
Do you think that is important as far as something to consider?
I think that's good. It's good. I don't know what he's about to say, but some people have some really strong feelings about that, some really strong thoughts about that. And, this idea of like, let's speak the way that they're talking, like, how important is it that the woman is coming from a household with 2 parents, okay, with 2 parents raised with both parents? So that's a question that people feel differently about. I think that how someone developed is and where they're at now is much more important than just being like, okay, did you have both parents in the house or not? Because people no one data point necessarily means anything. Y'all have heard me say that a lot. I'll keep saying it. One data point doesn't necessarily mean anything. So in this case, having 2 parents doesn't necessarily mean that someone's going to grow up to be a healthy, functioning individual that is great in relationships. Okay, that does not always happen. I'm pretty sure anyway, let me not even do that. So although we do know, right, I've talked about this plenty of times as well. We do know that the outcomes for children are better when they grow up with 2 parents in the house. Academically, developmentally, they're less likely to experience poverty, less likely to have behavioral challenges, less likely to be impulsive, aggressive, all kinds of things like that. So they're adjusting to society better. So that's true as well. Point being, I think that it's such a, although we know that the literal objective research tells us that 2 parents is better than 1. That's what the research tells us. I think it's important to give the space to know how someone managed that and like how they've internalized it and where they've come out with it, where they're at with themselves is a probably better way to say it, to discern and assess if they are a viable option for you. So that the data point can give you a good, like, kind of give you a general idea of maybe what you need to look for, ask about in particular, things like that. That I think that people are so individual in their development that I think it's good to get to know where someone's at, regardless of just that one fact about them. And of course, I don't think that Cam is saying that this one thing means everything. But all right, I'll stop talking now.
Oh, that's a great question. I've never did. Honestly.
Hold on. Let me make that right, because when social media hears certain things, my intentions behind that is,
Absolutely.
do you think her coming from a two-parent household shapes her thinking to see things as you see things?
You know, it does, but it has this, like everything, pros and cons.
Okay.
So to have a present father can instill a lot in you. It can, but it also can put a lot in you that's very detrimental to certain relationships.
Okay.
Like if your daddy tell you can do anything by yourself your whole life, you form this.
So that's some good nuance. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? That's what Demetri is describing. Is one data point doesn't necessarily mean anything. Different things can come out of that.
Hyper independence, to where half the time you feel like you don't need a man.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So it has its pros and its cons, but to be honest, this is the first woman I've dated with both parents. So it was brand new to me, but I was jealous of it because emotionally he's there, physically he's there, mentally he's there, and so is the mother. It's an incredible household to be raised from, and it developed an incredibly strong woman. You know,
I'm gonna reach in here. I'm gonna reach in here. Jealous is probably not a great word for it. Maybe like an admiration, but maybe it really does mean jealous. It's a little off-putting to me to hear that, because a lot of negative, like, kind of behaviors can come from jealousy. But I think, if you're aware of your jealousy and then able to kind of like harness it in some kind of way and maybe use it to speak to how you want to raise your children together, something like that, I think that could be helpful. I mean, I'm reaching here, but I do wonder if maybe like admiration might be a better word, but maybe he really does mean jealous. And if so, that's something I would, if he was my client or I was interviewing him, talking to him on this podcast, I would want to know more about jealousy. Like, are we really talking about jealousy? Or are we talking about something else? And if it is jealousy, let's unpack that.
You know what I'm saying? That I'm grateful I have, but it wasn't a moment I was finna miss in my son's life. I couldn't do at any moment, and I think my child's mother knows this, at any moment, she could say, I don't want to be a mom no more. And I will take on full custody of that child, without a doubt. I'm at the doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, field trips. I done been on more field trips than you could think of. You know what I'm saying?
You.
Like me. Okay, you're right. But
I don't know what that meant. So if somebody else knows what that meant, that you and then Kim and then Demetri being like, you're right. Like, I don't know what that was. What does that mean?
It's for the man out there listening, you have to, what's more important than coming from a two-parent household is understanding how it affected this person. Because a lot of things affect people differently. So like, one of the things I observed when I was coming up is that single mothers, and not all, but tend to develop a jealousy when it comes to having a daughter. And I don't know if this is like some jealousy when it comes, and not all, but tend to develop a jealousy when it comes to having a daughter. And I don't know if this is like something the world should study or look into a little more, but once that daughter gets of a certain age and she reminds you of that age you used to be, it's hard to look at that. It's hard to raise that, especially when she's powerful and strong and all these things you were at that age. And not even just women. Like, I came from a household where
that can happen, some kind of competitive thing can happen between moms and daughters. He did say some, not all. Gosh, honestly, I think maybe I'm just speaking truly as a woman right now. And I don't like that depiction. I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. I saw an Evelyn Lozada thing. Evelyn Lozada and her daughter got pregnant with the Games kid, and there's definitely, I think, something going on there. But as an example, some more like, I think there's probably some jealousy at play here. I guess I'm just not sure why Demetri said it. It definitely stands out, and probably I think what I notice is that that men speak a lot to that and not about like healthy, like they haven't seen maybe, or isn't as fun to talk about, or maybe they don't think it's as common to have like a healthy relationship between mother and daughter, or they haven't seen it all. But yeah, it definitely stands out to me that he said that, because I guess maybe I'm not sure exactly why he's saying that, unless because he's not a woman. So unless is he talking about his child's mother or his, please go back. Am I losing track of something? His child's mother or his current girlfriend? There's so many people to keep track of now.
Affect people differently. So like
Okay.
one of the things I observed when I was coming up is that single mothers, and not all, but
Okay.
tend
Okay, so you're talking about his general experience and what he's seen growing up. Okay.
to develop a jealousy when it comes to having a daughter.
So that's what he's seen.
And I don't know if this is like something the world should study or look into a little more, but once that daughter gets of a certain age and she reminds you of that age you used to be, it's hard to look at that. It's hard to raise that.
That is so different than my experience or people that, or like what I saw. So I'm not gonna say that that doesn't happen. I know that that happens. It's clearly something that he has seen, and I have definitely heard men talk about seeing that as well. Men have assumed that I had that kind of relationship with my mother just because, maybe just because that's what they think happens between mothers and daughters, that's their norm, their standard. So yeah, I think it just stands out to me because it's just so different than mine, and it's not something that was a part of my experience or around me that I could see or that I even like heard about. I saw that stuff like way after, when I was like actually working with people in like a mental health space, and then also just being older and seeing it out in the world. So I appreciate that he's saying that that is his experience, um, that was his experience growing up. I also think it's always kind of, I think, tricky when a man is talking about such an intimate female experience. Probably, and I'm curious to see how women respond to this part in the comments, or what they thought, when they were watching this themselves. I'm curious to know if how that landed for them. It's such an intimate thing to talk about as a man, but he's talking about what he saw. So
Especially when she's
like, it's hard to raise that. It's like, how do you? I guess to me, Demetri's just putting himself like too close to the experience, like of being a single mother raising a teenage daughter, and so it's standing out to me.
that daughter gets of a certain age and she reminds you of that age you used to be. It's hard to look at that. It's hard to raise that, especially when she's powerful and strong and all these things you were at that age. And not even just women. Like I came from a household where my older brother, I have an older brother, his name is Tori. He has a different father. My father raised him, but he has a different father than me. My mother was extra hard on him. And every other relationship I saw when I was young that had that dynamic of having a son and you're not with the parent that gave birth to him.
A bonus child.
A bonus child. Every dynamic I saw was harder on that bonus child. And I think it's because a lot of times we got to look at the child and see the relationship that didn't work. It's hard to actually erase the trauma that like lives in our minds subconsciously.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen that, like as a therapist working with people who have problematic relationships with their mother. This isn't always the case, but it has been the case where the mother had some serious issues with their father, and they're no longer together, and the mother maybe even explicitly has made those connections and treats their child poorly. I definitely do not think that that is all, that is what happens all the time, but it does happen enough to where we can point to it and say, like, that's real. That's a real issue that people face, and that's really sad and unfortunate. And it's really, projection, I think, is a simple word for it, although it fits. And it's a lot of misplaced anger, maybe grief, betrayal, things like that. That unfortunately children in those situations have to bear and deal with. And it's really sad and unfortunate, obviously.
And so for all my single mothers out there that are struggling in parenting, I'm gonna ask you, this is my camera right here? I'm gonna ask you, in raising your children, do you know yourself? Because you gotta know your triggers. You gotta know that your leash is short with this child doing this certain thing because you didn't have that leash.
I want to go back to something.
Absolutely.
You said you were in love with two.
This guy's encouraging people that are doing that to be self-aware. And
women, right? I'm curious to know why you're no longer with the mother of your son.
Great story.
Respectfully.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
My child's mother understands it's all love. And I actually, have real love for the dude she's with. I don't think we talk about that enough. Stepdad, give love out here, man. But it was to tell you I gotta go back.
That's good too. I think, it's positive. That was positive, right? And I'm gonna keep it on 2 times because, to be honest, I'm trying to rap pretty soon. That's the truth. So I'm gonna keep it on 2 times, but I appreciate that he said that he shouted out the stepfather and that was positive.
I was 13 years old. I ain't gonna make it too detailed, but I was 13. And when I was 13, that love at first sight hit me. And the first thing I did, I was terrified of it, scared to death. Because why would I sacrifice myself to protect someone else? This is my first time ever experiencing this. My mind couldn't conceive how real this was. So I was a kid, gave my brother my flip phone, yo, break up with him, just go on. He take that, he said, yeah, you can't do it no more, click, hang up the phone. Maybe a month later, Cam, I tell you, a month later, my mama passed away. And in my mind, I bonded to that. Called trauma bond for most people who don't truly understand it, but in my mind, I felt like something had something to do with me. This hurt I caused was added on top of one of the greatest things a human being could possibly go through in his life.
Wait, now we gotta slow that down. Hold on a second. I was trying to get through, but hold on. That sounded really important. This sounds really important, guys. Let's see.
Phone, yo, break up with her for me. Just go on.
So you're saying he was in love, it was a little bit much, says friend, hey, can you break up with her? Friend does it.
He take that, he said, yeah, he can't do it no more, click, hang up the phone. Maybe a month later, Cam, I tell you, a month later, her mama passed away.
Okay, her mother passed away a month after they broke up.
And in my mind, I bonded to that. Called trauma bond for most people who don't truly understand it. But in my mind, I felt like something had something to do with me. It had this hurt I caused was added on top of one of the greatest things a human being could possibly go through in his lifetime, the hardest things. And I stuck to it. And she stuck in my mind. She was already there. It pushed it deeper, and
y'all hear that? I know this is very sensitive. Whenever we're talking about someone passing away, it's always very sensitive. And so I hope that, it can be maybe, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, it's very sensitive. I just want to acknowledge that. We talked about trauma bond. I said, we're talking about, he said in love, and earlier I said, we're talking about attachment, and some people might call it a trauma bond or unhealthy attachment. Some people might call it a trauma bond, when they feel kind of like overly involved, overly, deeply attached without any real reason to be. Demetri just said that her mother passed away a month after he broke up with her. A friend broke up with her for him. She said the hurt she felt or what she went through has something to do with him breaking up with her. That is so incredibly irrational. Not necessarily like strange for maybe for a 13-year-old to put that together because we're not reasoning well. So cause and effect is not, we're not thinking about cause and effect as, we're not thinking about cause and effect the same way that we do when we're fully developed. But it's incredibly irrational, completely emotional, understandable being 13 years old, trying to make sense out of death. But now we're getting at why the attachment was so strong at such a young age, and why he felt so responsible for her. And I wonder how long they were together or knew each other at 13. I wonder how long they had been together from the time they met to the time her mother passed away.
It was already there. And I stuck to it. And she stuck in my mind. She was already there. it pushed it deeper,
Mhm.
you know, and time separated us. We moved away. I think we were sophomores then. Senior year rolled around. We
At 13?
I think that's 13. I mean, not senior, I'm sorry, sophomore. Sophomore is 13.
No, 13
Yeah.
like 8th grade.
No. 8th grade, like 11, 12.
No, bro.
Am I bugging?
Yes, you're bugging.
Okay, I might have been, you know, a little older than that. You know what I'm saying? But
Like,
let's say
ninth
it was,
grade is like 15.
it was freshman summer.
Okay.
So whatever age you are in that freshman summer, so probably 14, something like that,
Yeah.
14, 14 and a half. But my birthday was in the summer, so I don't know, maybe I'm bugging. Then, after the trauma happened, like kind of separated us a little bit. And we were set to go to prom together. And I tell you, man, when you fall in love and you think you know God's plan, you start putting your life in order of how it's supposed to go. I saw myself going to prom with this woman, all of these things.
No.
I ain't go to prom with her.
With prom, are you going junior prom or senior prom?
This was senior prom.
So from 10th grade, there's a span of about 2 years that's still looming. You are not together.
Nope.
But this is the person that you said was love at first sight.
Mhm.
Okay. During this time, now, as I'm talking this out, you start to realize that that fairy tale that sound like love at first sight now starts to hit and say, okay, there was 2 years where y'all weren't together. All right. Now let's talk real life situations.
Yeah,
Were
yeah.
you still dating other people? Was she still dating other people?
She was. I wasn't.
Okay. So you was just waiting on her to come back around? Now, you don't think that...
It's crazy. Love is crazy, Cam.
No.
That's the thing.
Hey, yo,
Love is
Can I speak freely?
for sure.
Cam's been trying not to say it. He's been trying not to say it, but he's like, okay, be for real.
And I don't want to disrespect you, bro.
Y'all good. You all
I
good.
promise you I don't. But it's doormat like a little bit where it's like, bro, you waiting on a woman to come back around? Like for me, I'm going to give maybe 2 signals that I want you. And once you reject those 2,
I mean, Demetri, you know, he's 50, he's, 15 at that point. So,
it's good riddance. If you decide to move on, even though I will be hurt, I am forced
principle remains.
to move on. She don't want you, bro. Let that sizzle in them neck bones and them collard greens. She don't want you. Cool. I'm not about to be no dude that's going to keep tat. Baby, come back to me, please. No, bro, I'm not doing that. And I think every man, if you show signs of that, I don't think women will respect that either.
I think you're missing it.
Okay.
It wasn't me sitting in my room crying R&B songs. I was on a mission at this point, and not to acquire that woman, but to be ready if that woman ever came around. It's a difference between leaving the door open.
And yeah, true. Definitely the tapping in is definitely going to affect most women's perception of you. It's going to throw off the energy, to say to in a nutshell. Kim's right.
Respect that either.
I think you're missing it.
Okay.
It wasn't me sitting in my room crying R&B songs. I was on a mission at this point, and not to acquire that woman, but to be ready if that woman ever came around. It's a difference between leaving the door open and sending smoke signals through her window. It's a big difference. You go out and live your life, whatever
Well, how are you possibly preparing at 15? Like, what you doing?
growth you need to happen on your own accord is your accord. I'm preparing myself for what it is I desire at the end of the day.
Right.
Now I understand what you're saying, that any man constantly calling for a woman may look weak. I wasn't calling. I was still living my life. I was
waiting,
but I wasn't dating. Nothing impressed me. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I mean by faceless.
When I hear waiting, there's a visual that I'm saying, like, I'm waiting on her to come back around. That's not me saying, hey, I was going out to look and I just didn't see nobody that piqued my fancy. Now, whatever she did was respectfully what she did that's outside my jurisdiction. I can't control her, can't control the situation. It just so have it that when she broke up or when she left those situations, I was in a space where I was considering getting back with her. Is that the situation, or was it something different?
It was me preparing myself. I was with other women, but I was never dating other women. You see what I'm saying?
No.
See the difference? So the thing about it is, you can have all these situations. I was in high school.
You was having sex with multiple women, or other women.
Well, other women. But
Come on, look, bro. This is Funky Friday.
see,
We can't beat around the bush. Were you?
I was in high school.
Cool.
I was a senior in high school.
It's cool. It is okay. It's all right that I know lover boy, but we outside in high school, brother. We trying to figure out. You got a pouch. I got a sword. This goes in here. We gonna move a cord. Like, you gonna lick this. I'm gonna lick that.
That's crazy.
Oh my
Like,
God.
you're exploring.
Cam. Wow, that was kind of cringy. I'm glad we're kind of going a little fast to that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
That's what I'm telling
okay.
you. I wasn't sitting in the house.
Yes. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I was on sports teams. You
The dynamic, I'm just gonna speak to the dynamic in this interview is telling. Kim is definitely kind of like little broing him. Now, I'm not a man now. Am I wrong? But that's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. Like, Kim is kind of looking at him like he's not taking him seriously. And I don't think that's not a good situation to be in. and it looks like it's kind of Demetri looks a little bit back on his heels. Not too much back. I'm not saying he's intimidated by Cam, but I am saying there's a bit of y'all see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I
Talk
wasn't
to me.
but that's what I'm house.
I'm gonna lick that.
That is crazy.
Like you're
And Cam's trying to get him to be like, okay, like speak from a like basic male experience. Like he's trying to just get him to like admit that he's not always this like fantastical like lover boy all the time. But I think that's what Cam's trying to do. He's like, no, be serious.
exploring.
Yeah.
And it's
That's what I'm telling
okay.
you, I wasn't sitting in the house.
Yes. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I was on sports teams. You know what I'm saying? I
Talk
wasn't
to me.
but that's what I'm saying.
All right.
I was not what you envision when people hear waiting, they imagine like, oh, my life stops if this woman's not around. No, it wasn't that.
That's what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It wasn't that. And so
Okay.
much so, as time passed, like I told you, I envisioned going to prom with
So Cam was corrected.
her. And the thing about it is when you have a soft spot for a woman, you tend to play into that. So she was going on prom. And just so happened, one school went before the other. Hers was before mine. We made an arrangement, we was gonna go together. She ended up getting a boyfriend. Cool. She asked
Before
me-
the prom?
Before the prom.
Okay.
She asked me, could you still come? I came.
What?
Yeah. I've known her.
That ain't never gonna work out. I'm gonna speak in principle. I'm not gonna say there's never any exceptions. I'm gonna speak in principle, principle relational dynamics, principled relational concepts. What generally happens. So they were set to go to prom. They were going to go to each other's prom. They had already made an agreement to go together. So he probably set that off, right? I'm imagining he didn't say like I asked her to prom, but imagining he's the one that put that into motion. She gets a boyfriend before, after you had already been in agreement to go together. That should have been enough right there. You just need to stop everything right there. Now, again, look, they're in high school. Give them so much grace. Give them so much grace. Again, I'm talking about principles. Like, so not going to consider the concepts when we're talking about principles, okay? But high school give people so much grace. But a lot of people doing a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's all kinds of different people. Nobody knows nothing about what's going on. People are making decisions that they should. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about things that are like X-rated. I'm talking about just in general. People are making decisions that they wouldn't make as a fully grown adult. So give people a whole bunch of grace. But we're talking about the principle. She's clearly saying, I do not want to be with you. And she asked you to come anyway. You are 100%. You're not even on the back burner. Not really. You're not even really on the back burner. You're not even really on the back burner. And someone doesn't even treat a friend like that. They don't. That's somebody that's playing in your face. Now, maybe he said that he thinks that she's still in love with him. Maybe some things changed. I don't know, but I'm saying principle. Don't even think about Demetri and the ex and all that. Just if somebody's doing that, hey, we about to do this together. I'm going to get another man before we go do that thing together. Can you still come? And now you're going to watch us together. That's somebody playing in your face. You should never agree to that. Don't care how big the trauma bond is. Don't care how much you're attached. Don't care. You need to refuse to participate.
Since I was 13. But you gotta understand this too, it's different. Before I knew her, I was already embedded in her family since preschool.
Cam laughing at him.
It was different.
No, bro. No.
See, that's the problem with this generation. I knew her. I was already embedded in her family since preschool. It was different.
No, bro.
So
no.
see, that's the problem with this generation.
No,
we scared of this simp narrative
from this generation.
Like I'm just saying, but this is the media.
Demetri, you actually need to probably listen. I don't know what Cam's gonna say, but you probably need to listen.
We push on.
Okay,
it's this simp narrative that's like
that ain't simp. She went to prom with somebody else, and she told you to come too.
She said, for sure. Yeah, but you see, now you got to hear how the story play out. So she goes, "Could you come?" Sure.
With her going, like she taking pictures. She in red, he in red, you in black.
They was actually in black, but I was. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, but I feel you.
You see that dynamic, and you're the third wheel. What did
again? High school, but people are doing this like that kind of thing you playing out on people in real life, and you take the best buddy role.
Dude, say.
I mean, I didn't go with them. Hold on, Cam. Hold on. How little are you?
I'm trying to figure, bro. You're saying she went to prom with another dude, and then she told you to come, and then you came.
No,
did
Cam,
she tell the other dude?
God, Cam, no. In Chicago, I don't know where you from specifically.
What kind?
We have these things called send-offs.
All right.
Prom send-off. So everybody just outside eating food, you know what I'm saying? Seeing motherfuckers get in the car and go to prom. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like I'm in a suit. Hell no, Cam.
I'm giving what?
Hell no, man.
Okay, keep going.
So it was a send-off type of thing. Right. Could you come and support? You know?
Oh, still no. Honestly, okay. No, still no. Better than him getting dressed up. That would just be, oh my, as a mother and a father, you should say, Demetri, you can't go. I know you don't understand right now. Let me come all the way on stage on the full son. We love you. And I know you want to I know you don't understand right now, but you can't go. You can't go. If you know what's going on, you are the parent, that's where you got to say, I just know better than you. And you're going to be mad at me for this weekend. You're going to be mad at me for a week. I am not going to allow you to be played with like this. Oh no. Oh no. You'll understand later. Parent, you just step in. So it's better than him being dressed up, right? He got a corsage and everything. Better than that. But still, she said, can you come support? She's saying, will you willingly take second place? You need to accept that you're not first place, but you should not show up. You should not go. Now, hey, look, if you think something different, I'm totally open to, everybody got their own ideas. This is my reaction. This is what I think.
I'm saying my whole family was going because my family was embedded in her family already.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I still showed up. My prom rolls around.
Man.
I'm checking.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Stop.
Do you have any platonic relationships in your life right now?
With a woman?
Yeah.
No.
Is that by choice?
I'm not about to be around no woman platonically. Listen.
We got to unpack this, Cam. Why?
Because I'm not about to play them type of games.
Is it self-control?
Call it what you want.
I'm asking.
Call it. It may be self-control.
I'm asking.
If she fine,
whatever.
I'm not about to have her around playing like I don't think that she's attractive.
Is it possible to think someone's attractive and still behave yourself?
Yes.
Do you have control of them thoughts?
Yes. But I'm not about to play them games.
What game is it?
The game of saying, hey, we're not about to be friends. I don't have good-looking women that's friends around me. So no.
Just all the. Do you have any ugly ones? I gotta ask.
I don't even have woman friends, bro. Respectfully.
Why?
I don't.
And I understand you saying.
Well, this is interesting because I haven't seen this clip. I actually reacted to this clip and I wasn't even thinking about it in full context here. So this is interesting because this is another thing. This is another time where the conversation actually spoke into something different, because it was sort of first about like Demetri being played. And then Demetri kind of turns into like, well, don't you have any friends? Do you have any female friends? So you see how the conversation shifted there into a different, actually different topic. And it shifted who was on, like, Demetri sort of was on his heels and he shifted it back. So notice that. I mean, just notice it. And starts questioning Cam. Fine. But what I think is kind of interesting is Demetri wasn't there as just a friend. If you're being sincere, right? You wanted to go to prom with this woman, this girl, right? Sure, she's under 18, right? Anyway, y'all, come on. I'm saying, Taylor, come on. You want to go to prom with her. You've been thinking about her for years. You not there as a friend. You there because you like her. You actually say you love her. So now I'm thinking, is this disingenuous? To say like, well, don't you have any friends? Well, you're not really a friend. You're not really a full friend. No? That's where we really should have parsed that out. Yeah, let's talk about what friend is, because you're only in that position because she blocked you out of what you really wanted. You were a friend. You're a hopeful suitor. You're waiting in the wings. If this thing falls apart, if this thing falls out, she knows that I'm here. I'm stay close by. She knows I support her. I'm her listening ear. She feels safe. I don't know if you're saying, I don't know if that, I don't, now let's have a conversation, y'all. Let's have a conversation. Cause I'm like, you really a friend? You never had any, cause you have feelings for her. You love her. You never felt anything like that before in your life. You saw her and you wanted the world with her. You wanted your whole life with her. You saw all the way from till death do part with her. And now it's, well, can't you have any friends? That doesn't sound, I mean, this is like the love of your life.
You're not finna play this game, but Cam, you're a smart man. I'm gonna need you to go.
How this shift, you see that? The shift is happening. Interesting. I'm just saying.
Go deeper than that.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's a,
I know me.
there's, you know you, okay?
I know me.
And what that mean?
That means if I'm around a woman long enough, I'm going to find something good in her that attracts me.
Okay, and when you're attractive, what then happens? When you're attracted, what then happens?
Sex.
Oh, God damn, Cam. Cam, this is a bigger issue than I thought we had.
So understanding that I know what's to come from a platonic situation, I don't even play. No, I don't do that. Baby, you too fine for me. We're not doing that.
Interesting.
No.
So, okay. If I take the word friendship off of the table, do you have platonic relationships in your life that involve women?
I just told you, I don't have no attractive woman that I'm cool with that I do not have plans on stabbing.
Damn, Cam. This is my camera. Listen, my fellow listeners. Self-control is very important.
No. We're not going to do that.
What?
Self-control is identifying, I know me.
Now,
So
it's very healthy for you to be saying this.
We're not going to do that.
I'm not saying it's not healthy.
Yeah.
But there's something deeper to this conversation, Cam.
Listen.
The why is missing.
This my camera right here.
Uh-huh.
It's simple. Baby, I'm not your friend. Baby, I'm not your buddy. Baby, I'm not the friend zone. I'm the guy that's trying to score and go for two. I'm in the end zone.
God. You so used to touchdowns, Cam, now you can't.
I'm used to tush push.
Now you can't kick no field goals. God,
we don't kick field goals. We go for it every time.
Oh, God.
Baby,
damn.
if you're going to sit up here and tell me, hey, friend, no, friend. Even my girlfriend know that I don't have no girl friends, you know?
So question for you.
Snapping,
Hey,
boy.
that was not a snap. Hold on. Pause.
Snapping,
Pause.
boy.
No, do not snap
Bomb
at that.
snap, boy, for real.
Question for you. In your current relationship,
Yeah.
can you be friends with your girl's friends? Do you have a relationship then?
No.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna pause here. I don't know. Everybody's gonna have different feelings about this. I put out a reel a while ago about not about men and women being friends, and it. Listen, I think realistically, it's uncommon for men and women to meet, especially in adulthood, and be just all flat, like just truly flat out true friends. Now, but there also needs to be a definition of like what a friend is, because people have different levels of it. A lot of people use friend as really acquaintance. I think acquaintances happen all the time, right? With opposite gender, with men and women. I think acquaintances happen all the time. I think that it's less likely to develop a genuine friendship with the opposite gender in adulthood without there being some kind of underlying attraction on one or both sides. That's what I think. I think it's uncommon. I'm not saying it never happens. I think though we're talking about in general. I think men and women can be friends. I think that especially how someone grew up, I have found, and this is, I don't have a research article for you, but what I found is how someone grew up can really affect, you know, someone's idea of being a friend with the opposite gender. I grew up with a lot of male friends. I grew up with a lot of male friends. I played sports. I liked doing that more than like sitting inside and like I had the Barbie. I had all of the Barbie stuff. I had the kitchen. I had the easy bake oven. I had that. I also had Tonka trucks. I also played sports. I also, you know, I was so good at sports that when they started to split the boys and the girls, when you start getting like about age 13, they were like, you can play in the boys league because basically you're gonna crush the girls. Okay, so I grew up around a lot of boys, um, and so I think that plays I have an older brother. I have a cousin. He's a little younger than my brother. He's an older cousin. My mom has a brother. My dad has two brothers. I have two grandfathers. So I mean, you know, so I think that kind of stuff matters, and that kind of stuff I do think really matters. And I played with a lot of boys growing up. So I say all of that to say, I really do think that, I don't think this is all of it, but I do think it's part of it. I think that someone's relationship to the opposite gender as a child can really impact how we see them growing up. Uh, my childhood isn't the only reason why I like men in general, but I genuinely like men. I like boys. I like men. Like I liked boys when I was young. Okay, clear. I liked boys when I was younger. I like men as people. As people. Seriously. And so I think that can affect, you know, how we see the other gender. Like, did you even see these people as people? Because sometimes someone has an experience of seeing the other as like alien to them. And I just think that's a lot of kids' experiences, and then it can turn into like an adult experience. So a lot I could say about that.
I'm telling you, I know me, and that's real healthy.
I think that it is good that Cam just pretty much knows like this is what it is for me. Like this is what happens when I'm around an attractive girl, so I'm not about to do it. So I think it's legitimate and valid to call that self-awareness. And people just have so many different ideas about this. Like, is he really? He lacks self-control. He lacks discipline. You know, you should be able to be around them and not want to have sex with them. All that kind of stuff. I honestly do not have an issue with what he's saying. I really don't. He's not putting himself in a position to have something go off that would be in some way detrimental to him or his relationship or his career. So I honestly don't see any issue with it. I think I don't. I can make an argument about how it could be problematic, but just off rip, I honestly do not have an issue with what he's saying. I get that women want to be seen as more than sex objects, for sure. I get that men want to be seen as more than wallets, for sure. Okay. I think he probably sees the woman he's with as more than a sex object. He sees this woman as someone to in some way commit to, although they're not married, and people have their own people have their own issues with that. I mean, it's his life. So I don't have an issue with how anybody chooses to live their life. Yeah, I don't have an issue with what he's saying, to be honest. You know, I'll go a little bit more transparent with myself. I am not I do not have I have male friends. I do have male friends. I have always had male friends. I do not hang out with male friends. I'm not going to get a drink. I'm not going to hang out. I'm not doing that. Like one-on-one. I'm just not doing that. We're not FaceTiming. We're not doing that. Other people might do it. I don't. Okay. I'm not befriending new men just because I'm not, and I don't want attractive men just hanging around. I don't, because I don't entertain that. I just don't like to entertain that kind of energy, because sometimes y'all, and not everybody doesn't know this experience. Everybody does not know this experience, and that's real. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you. Everyone does not know the experience of eliciting sexual energy from people. And sometimes when you elicit that, like Cam is going to elicit that from women anywhere he goes. He's going to be eliciting sexual energy from women. Okay, that does not mean that they're going for it. I mean, whatever. But he's a list. But if he goes in, it's a restaurant. He's gonna be pulling sexual energy from women because of the way he's showing up. Okay. Some people on a much lower scale know what it's like to be like, you just, no matter what you do, you just pulling energy from, you just pulling that energy from people. So I'll tell you, like, for myself, and this is just the truth. It's gonna sound however it sounds. I'm not interested in bringing in having men around, unattractive or not, but especially attractive. That's gonna be bringing that kind of energy in the space. Like, it's just not something that, it's just not good. It's not good. So honestly, I think I'm a lot more like Cam here. Although I do have male friends and I think it's fine. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit in both then. I guess what I'm saying is I understand where Cam is coming from, even as a woman. And I think I get why a man would say this as well.
Cam.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's healthy to the motherfucker.
Like, and this is the dynamic that I want to kind of add in. See,
Sorry, y'all.
In this dynamic of me understanding myself about other women, even if I were to say, hey, this is an attractive woman, here's my partner, the woman that I'm with, she knows me so much to say, oh, that's your friend, huh? That's our dynamic. We partners.
Let me ask you something.
Hold on. Because there is a double standard here.
Okay.
That woman who has just been introduced to my woman can introduce herself to my woman. Here's the plot twist.
Okay.
Because there's not a man that is in a relationship that woman can introduce another man to her man and they shake hands and like, oh, that's cool. I've never witnessed that dynamic.
Really?
Yeah.
That she's attracted to? Man, no.
But how would you know that attraction?
I know my woman, bro.
Let me ask you something. I love what you said, and I love that works for y'all, and I'm not gonna sit and internalize anything that works for you on my own life. I know myself. Let me ask you something. What's stronger? What's more of a powerful presence or dynamic? You knowing yourself and keeping yourself away from attractive women, or me having self-control and respect enough for my woman that I can cut that off when I choose to?
I could cut it off when I choose to, too.
It don't sound like you can. Cam, you just said you know yourself.
I'm telling you, I could.
You're not hearing me, though.
You're not hearing me. I know me, bro. My woman knows me, bro. Like, we so locked in and tied in, we have honest conversation. I know I'm flawed. I don't hide around I lead with the demons in my closet. I don't lead with this, oh, baby, you the beautifulest thing. It's like, listen, baby.
That's what he's really saying Demetri's doing.
I'm hurting right now. You're triggering me right now. And not triggering me by not doing what I need you to do. It's just this phase that I'm in. You are unbelievable. Baby, I'm drifting. And then, listen to this. She'll say, baby, I'm drifting too. Two of us drifting away don't make nothing healthy. So I'm gonna be here while you drift. As a matter of fact, we can play kite. Go on and drift. I'm gonna be here controlling the situation. Because that's what love is to me. What's that fighting power? What's that staying power? I ain't gonna embarrass you, baby. And if I ever embarrass you, I truly apologize. But I know me.
Now it's getting a little bit, it's kind of floating away, speaking of kites. And that's how he has his relationship set up, where it sounds like they both can have other relationships outside of their own. That's different than friends. Okay, let me be clear. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm not advocating for that. I'm not advocating for that. And also, I'm not condemning or shaming Cam for that. That sounds like they're both in agreement about what is going on. And they have honest, transparent conversations about what it is, and that is working for them. So, I think everybody should do exactly what they want to do. I'm not doing that, and That's not the format that we really go for here with like monogamous marriage. But that's what Cam does. All right.
I know wherever I go, it's easy for me to go on Instagram.
Cam's also not married.
And find somebody that's local in that specific situation. Go out, have a couple of drinks, hit the stink, and be out of here before you even think.
Where do you come up with this shit?
It's
like
just flowing. It's just flowing.
But let me ask you.
I'm living in my truth,
man.
Bro.
I love that for you.
Okay.
And I'm positive that your truth is the same for most men, if not all. We all have this internal nature, right? This internal nature to be that caveman essence we came from. But imagine the man who has the power to turn it off. Imagine the woman strong enough for the man to turn it off for.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
If a man gonna do it, he gonna do it. He gonna do it because he want to do it, not because that's just that. No. Don't put that on us. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. If a man want to do it, if a man want to turn it off, that's because he. I'll let a man speak for himself. Let me go ahead and get Austin on here. Let me let him tell it.
I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with who you are. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with the dynamic y'all got going on, because what works for y'all, what works for y'all. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I think love is at its best when you have that alignment.
Let me make something abundantly clear here. In no way, shape, form am I cheating on my partner.
Oh, I didn't think so. Clear it up for them. Yeah,
but sure. What I will tell you is this. Let's change the commodity, right? If a person is trying to remove the addiction of crack, that person is also in a dynamic where you're house hunting. The house that you find is next to a crack house. Do you think that that's smart for you to do?
You know,
just answer that first real quick.
Cam is funny, actually. Cam is funny.
Because I'm gonna get to the point that I'm trying to make.
That wasn't a bad metaphor. I see what he's talking about. I see what he's talking about. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Cam. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right. Let me see. Oh no. Oh. Okay, let me get back. I'm picking it up. He said, you got a crack addiction. You searching for a house. You like one next to a crack house. What you think about that?
Not smart at all.
It's not smart. So for me, when you initially asked that question of Platonic,
drive it home.
I understand. I don't play.
He said,
I go in to scope. Ooh. No, I'm good on that. Matter, let me go work out. Ooh. See, those type of things, if I don't do that, it's not gonna be good for my dynamic.
Right.
So I pour into her, she pours into me. And this is the thing, she's not alone, because I have women in my life that holds me accountable. There's 3 women that I have to love, and I genuinely do love with all my heart. But I don't have certain jurisdictions to what they do. There's a difference. I would do anything for my first baby mother, Kia, for my second baby mother, Lorena, and obviously my current woman that I'm with now, Jazz. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They are my responsibility, even if they decide to go with another man.
Right.
I don't have no jurisdiction on that. But every single one of them knows me to understand, Cam don't got no girlfriend, no. If I see him around, I know him.
I like crack. Basically, that's what I heard.
Love it.
That's what I heard.
Love it.
But okay, let's take it to your crack reference, because I love this game. Imagine me, right? I too have this crack addiction. Let's just say it's in us by nature.
Well, what's your crack addiction? Oh, just so we know.
What is my crack? I don't think I have a crack addiction.
Well, we're using crack as a way.
I get you, a metaphor. You know what I'm saying?
As a comparable, my crack is coochie. No.
That worse.
No, that's strong.
With a K.
No, with a C. 2 capitalized O's. Huh? Right. Sexy red, the way she say coochie.
Oh my
God. No, that's too strong. That's too strong. My crack is ovary. Nope. My crack.
Let's fast
Is
forward.
vagina.
Okay.
What's your crack?
My crack. See, here's the thing. I'm noticing a pattern here in this conversation. I'm going to say something, and because it doesn't resonate with your crack, you're going to be like, can't be true. And that's inevitably how the world works.
I never said it can't.
Well, I'm sorry, can't be true is a stretch, but you're going to view it from your perspective that it's a little illogical. So if I be my crack, what am I? I think I have a terrible habit of it's the truth. I have a terrible habit of believing that people are better than they fucking are. It's a fucking fact. I stayed in some shit longer than I was supposed to because of that fact, and my whole life changed. But I want to take you back to your crack reference just for a second. You said if I lived next to a crack house,
He's a romantic, overly optimistic.
let's say we bought a house and it was next to a crack house. Why would I buy that house? So let's just say both of us have the same addiction. Let's just say, call it what it is. Me and my girl is going house shopping, and the house next door is a crack house. And my girl loves this house that's right next to this crack house. You know the difference between what you said, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call the fucking state and get that crack house condemned. I'm gonna get it moved. I'm gonna get that motherfucking torn down and reconstructed. So I no longer have to fight an addiction next to my house. See what I'm saying? You see the difference?
No.
And the house next door is a crack house. And my girl loves this house that's right next to this crack house. You know the difference between what you said, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call the fucking state and get that crack house condemned. I'm gonna get it moved. I'm gonna get that motherfucking torn down and reconstructed. So I no longer have to fight an addiction next to my house. See what I'm saying? You see the difference?
No. How long is it gonna take the state to respond?
This motherfucker say, how long is it gonna take? Hey, listen, beautiful question.
It's a real question.
He's talking about, but Demetri's basically saying, why let the demons, which is a fine point. I think it's a good point. It's a good point for his argument. Why let the demons stay in the closet? Why not just get the demons out the closet?
That motherfucker out myself, I got to. See, the thing about it is, Cam,
I don't know how many. Let's be honest. There's nobody using crack.
right, no one does crack here.
No, too healthy. But certain things, I'd rather not even dabble in that. That's just me. I don't know.
I feel you.
Because we're wasting time. We're losing a lot of time here. But how did you and your
I feel
baby
you.
mother stop talking?
You know, 'cause the way that
quick
I
story.
think about it is not, just in general, let's talk about something other than, sex, right? Because I'm talking about like a principle, okay? When I say I feel you, it's like, if you know something's going to drag you down, like I'm a little extreme with stuff, more than I think the average person, I would say, where it's like I I don't want to watch an episode of Love and Hip Hop because I see what the whole thing is. So I don't want to do 5 minutes of it. I'm not interested in 5 minutes of it. I'm not going to go, oh, I don't like you. I don't really deal with you like that. Why would I go to your birthday? Why would I show up to your birthday party? It's going to create some kind of situation within me. I'm going to be irritated. I'd rather just not go. I mean, someone might call that avoidance, right? Someone might call something like that avoidance. But I think, when I'm thinking about the principle for me, I think I'm more like, I'm more willing to say, hey, I'm just not gonna deal with this. Put myself in a situation where it is likely that something is going to be detrimental. Like, I obviously I'm definitely about change and improvement and accountability and all that stuff. I think though you have to know like what your really slippery slopes are. I know that for me, when it comes to something like sexual energy, I know that that's something that people are responsive to. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not even going to use Love and Hip Hop because that's not even really a real example for real. Like I'm just was trying to use an example outside of like sexual energy or sex itself. But I'll actually just stay right there. Sometimes you got to know what's up. Sometimes you gotta know what's up, and not everybody can really relate, to be honest. And I think a lot of people cannot relate to Cam, right, in his position, and there are plenty of people in the comments when I did my first reaction reel on this, that were saying that, it's like, men who are saying have self-control. It's like, have you ever had that much money, had that height, and had this much access? Like, you try to have self-control then. Like, maybe better to just not be around it. Because it's a different, so I'm talking about, on a much smaller scale. Sometimes I think the same principle can apply. It's like sometimes you're pulling different kinds of energy, or you're creating different kinds of outcomes than other people are. You got to know, like, hey, look, this is not a good idea for me to be over there. It's not a good idea for me to be over there. It's not a good idea for me to have you around like that. It's not a good idea. I know you think no, we're not going for drinks like that. No. I'm not getting dressed up like that for you. Am I doing that? No. So
2020 hit, COVID hit. And I was paying the bills. She was living with me, bought her car. We had a kid. He's probably about 2 at the time.
Yeah.
1.5, 2 at the time. And right around that time, everybody's doing PPP shit, scamming, getting this, that. So the friends and big on who you're around encourages, influences who you are and what it is you desire. I was already the man buying the designer this, but it's never been my thing. Like, it's never done it for me. But if my woman want that, sure, I'll gather that. I just think she got a little lost in it. And it's easy to find a man who can do for you that's not already paying your bills. You get what I'm saying? It's easy to find somebody to trick on you when my tricking is not as valued as it once was. My tricking looked like putting you through school. My tricking looked like buying that car, paying the bills, keeping groceries in his house. Then you meet somebody who buys you some shoes and a bag and you're so impressed. You see what I'm saying? So she chose to walk away. And I'm not even going to simply leave it there. I was battling the depression at the time. She was battling some shit at the time. And it all added to it. Yeah. She chose to leave. I begged her not to. She wanted to. Since then, I never really looked back at it. We came up with the schedule. I was like, okay, let me get my own shit together. I got my shit together and, because of God, I'm sitting here with you, my brother. But moral of the story, that's how it went. There was a ton of healing and self-work that had to happen in the midst of it, but that's where Lost Lover Boy came from in essence. I was a man who wanted love without any clue of what it actually looked like in real time because I wasted so much time on this one I was in love with here. See what I'm saying? So I had to learn it myself.
So let's talk about some of the things that you've talked about on social media, right? You voiced men enjoy being babied by ladies when sick, when snuggling, when cooking, etc. Explain that.
So as masculine as we can be at times, and I take pride in that because my dad taught me a lot, shout out to Pops, could build a house, could fix a car, could do all these things. I have no problem doing it. But the one valuable piece that I've learned to garner from a woman, that I've appreciated garnering from a woman, is that moment of vulnerability to where I can sit the armor down, sit the shield down, put the hammer down and just be a baby. Like me, I'm a cuddler type shit, like real talk. Let's spoon preferably. But you get it how you get it. It's those things that men aren't too vocal about because we tend to keep it inside of our, you cool for desiring it. Like, I don't know who told us that we had to be this, it's a child.
And I think that's good, y'all. There's no need to comment on, in my opinion, on whether what it means that he likes to be the little spoon. You know what I mean? I just think, right. The point is that he's not saying everybody. I'm not gonna do this. What he's saying, which I think is good, is men own the parts of you that you really, really want, like own the more sensitive parts of you, the softer parts of you. Like, it's okay. And I think that that's good because I do think that the stereotypical version of masculinity has ultimately hurt everybody. Just like it's stereotypes about anybody is ultimately hurting everybody because it puts people in a more narrow box and limits their access to the fullness of their experience. So I am generally for people saying, hey, like whatever the traditional idea is, whatever the rigid role is, like if there's parts of you that want to be that are not that, it's generally okay. And I'm saying generally because I'm talking about for 99.8% of things, but that 0.02% is gender to me. And I know that people are going to have different ideas about that. But to me, it's, that's a different conversation. But I want to be clear that I'm saying like, hey, I think in most cases, in a huge majority of cases, going outside of a rigid role can be a really good idea. It gives you a fullness of your experience, allows you to really see your individuality and who you are. I am not for, in general, and I'm not talking about I don't know all kinds of different weird scientific ideas that that someone's going to want to bring to my attention. Well, what about if someone's born with this? I don't, please, whoever's going to try to do that, just please save it. If you want to talk to me live, I'm totally open. I am saying though, in huge generally speaking, 99.999% of the time, I want to say, hey, look, boy is boy, girl is girl. And if you're a boy that likes traditionally girl things, hey, you can dance. Hey, you can have a doll. Hey, if you're a girl that likes to do general boy things, hey, you like Tonka trucks. Hey, you wanna dig a hole. Okay. Doesn't mean you are a boy, doesn't mean you are a girl. If you are, it's something different. So I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. All right. That might not have been necessary, but
Challenge going around where your girl put the camera on you while you hugging her and you kind of push her off type shit. Like, that's a real challenge because in essence, if you break it down and really get in there, it's trying to protect that masculine energy that we've been forced to put to the forefront. If I cannot sit that shit down when it comes to my woman, you're not my woman. And I mean that.
But through how I internalize that, I've been guilty of not being as vulnerable to women because I would hate if I am vulnerable to you and then you weaponize my vulnerableness back to me. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because I take pride in providing.
For sure.
I take pride in nurturing. I take pride in protecting. When that is something that you see, that you witness, and then that I'm going over and beyond how I may think, and it's not good enough to you because you may see some jewelry, you may see some shoes, you may see a car, and you like, I want that. I know you have the means to get that. So why don't I have that? What you said is I trick in other ways. I trick with needs. I don't too much trick for wants. There's nothing that I couldn't have. It's just delayed gratification. It's maybe if your favorite designer is Chanel, or if your favorite designer is the comfort fit in Target, that's what I'm going to get you because I study you. I think oftentimes a lot of men are able to verbalize that our greatest fear is when we do put our shield down, when we do put our helmet down, when we do put our sword down to the world and we become vulnerable to someone. That vulnerableness is now thrown back at us. That's why you so sensitive.
I feel you. It's happened. I feel you. And I think the thing about it is you speak in voice of fear.
Very, very real, and something that we are going to continue to talk about. It's a huge issue, something that I need to talk more about because anyway, I'm not even going to put my experience in there. I think that it's something that needs to be addressed, and we will address it.
That 99% of men got these days, and not even these days, but before the dawn of time. And it's the idea. I like to think of it like this: if you cannot have that space, that is not your woman. Do you feel like you have that space in your current relationship? Could you say, "Baby, I'm hurting," or "Baby, I'm not okay"?
Yeah, that's very triggering words because I'll tell you why. Yes, I have that space. I've had that space before, but you don't know until something bad happens.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I've been vulnerable with multiple women outside of the mother of my children.
For sure.
But the common denominator is when you are triggered and I am triggered, what also are you willing to do to trigger me?
Absolutely.
And you have to take that into consideration. A lot of people are falling in love with the best version of them.
Correct.
When I'm saying fall in love with the most undesirable version of yourself. If you're still choosing me when, dang, baby, I messed up again. Dang, baby, you just did something that I just told you not. All right, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Those ugly moments, like we fall in love with the front side of the closet that is the Gucci, the Louis, the Fendi, the Hermes. But I'm like, man, go through the back. What them demons at? What them skeletons at? What them skull bones at? Huh? Man, you got insecurity issues. Baby, you don't know how to communicate. Baby, you don't know how to go make no money. Baby, you don't know how to, operate. You got a splurging problem. You in debt, baby. We're going to fix that. But in order for us to fix that, we got to be pulling in the same direction.
Absolutely.
It's going to take time. But with that time, if you got me, I got you.
Right.
Not when it's la da 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 da. We out here outside. Like no.
Can we speak on some shit? Because you bring up a great point, man.
Cam was funny, and people say things about Cam. Y'all kind of get an idea what people say about him, but I think that honestly, his ideas about relationship, regardless of the format, I call them formats, a format of the relationship, right? Like monogamous, plural, all kinds of polygamy, whatever you want to, different formats of the relationship, regardless of the format. I think he actually has a really pretty good idea from what I can tell about kind of like the realities of a relationship. And sometimes, y'all, this is a different conversation, but sometimes it has open relationships because they're so aware of the realities of the relationship. I won't get into that, but
you're right. And I think that's why I said earlier, I love the arguments because it's easy to see who a person is when y'all in a beach and board. It's easy to see a motherfucker happy and smiling and they loving you because of this. Once trouble arises, and I'm heavy on it. I'm heavy on the idea. The problem is not that we cannot understand if somebody's for us or not. The problem is we stay too long when we know they're not. My woman would not throw some shit in my face that I've given to her. Vulnerability or not. If I told you this, it should be a safe space, bar none. If I tell my woman, I don't like the way you're talking to me, she should change her tone. Because that's what a relationship is. It's a forever compromise. And I think you brought up a crazy perspective. When we get to pulling the bones and people fall flat on their face and you broke and you ain't got this and you ain't got that. The sad part about this reality, this day and age, it's easier for a man to hang around in those moments than it is for a woman.
Talk about it.
So if we being honest, and I think it was a lot of what I went through. I think the hurt came from knowing I wouldn't have done you like that. The hurt came from knowing I had every opportunity to pick better and I picked you.
We are going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that. we are going to talk about men's idea of like duty to the relationship and how that differs from women's ideas in general. Okay, how when like a man says like I'm with you, it's something different often than when a woman says I'm with you.
So low is who you were. You ain't had you had nothing when we met.
So I believe Demetri when he said I would have never done that. Doesn't mean that they would still be together. Maybe, you know, doesn't mean that, but some of that like leaving after you said you were committed, you know, going this way when you said that you were this way, like a lot of men, you know, that have that that masculine core and that or have that desire to truly be a husband cannot fathom saying like I'm with you and doing something and doing anything else but that. Now, of course, there are women we say, well, men cheat all the time, but that's a man that doesn't have that masculine core and or does not want to actually be a husband. Let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, I'm not speaking my relationships. I'm speaking for hundreds and thousands of relationships that's out there listening. I think, in my opinion, and it's just me being honest, love is more transactional from a woman's end than it is a man's end. Okay, and it honestly should be something that should be studied because we're labeled as these providers. You always gotta have this much money. It always seems like you're competing with the best version of yourself at all times. Instead of being judged from this humanistic standpoint, I'm gonna ask you, in a relationship, in a marriage, and whatever it is, what else does a man get other than love? What other reason is he there? Because I truly love you. It's the same reason we be like, a man can pick a woman that work at McDonald's and he a millionaire. You fall in love with who you fall in love with. But vice versa, could it work in the same effect?
People say that, but I'm gonna be real with you. At some point, I'm gonna break down some arguments that people make that really aren't. Like they sound, it's on surface, you'd be like, oh, okay, then we'll be with somebody at McDonald's. No, like a man will be a millionaire working with somebody at McDonald's because they're probably not in the same kind of like intelligence level or work ethic, and that's gonna irritate the hell out of them. Like when people are like, well, you know, he could be a million, he'd be making all this money and she could work at the post office. Where does that actually happen? And if you really know somebody, I would love to hear it. But I think that people say that to draw the point of like men needing less from women. But I think that's an argument that literally only men make because, I think it's an argument that literally only men make. And I don't think it's a very well thought out argument. And sometimes I think it's just flat out disingenuous to say, because men who are really in relationships with for real women get a whole lot. And serious men do require a whole lot from the women that they're with, but it's not her money, but it usually does translate into some kind of like, I think the mic went off. So sorry, y'all, if the sound gets weird right here. But I'm not gonna mess with the mic too much. I'm gonna let it go. I just got the new mic, and so I didn't. I think the receiver needs to be charged. So anyway, I think that is such a simplified argument, and I'm tired of hearing it at this point. And I think it needs to be broken down for what it actually is. I don't think that is totally invalid. There's some validity in it, like in the general idea behind it. But you know, you're not finding a millionaire and billionaire finding somebody that's working the UPS desk. I'm being serious. And nothing wrong with the UPS desk. I'm just saying.
I want to say something real quick because
they're not being matched up like that. It still doesn't have anything to do with the money, but it's just she's literally not going to be working at McDonald's.
I've been guilty of doing this in a way where
generally
being, some would say, misogynistic to the degree of explaining what a man wants, what a man needs, what a man, you know.
Waitress probably be the closest thing, because you know what? Honestly, I was a server in plenty of places. I was serving in plenty of places. Servers can make a lot of money, especially depending on where you're at. So, you know, server for sure is probably gonna be the closest to what, like, the idea that they're talking about. If you're gonna talk about an actual job that she's doing, it's probably server's gonna be like the lowest kind of thing. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk about it another time.
Extremely cares about. But as you were talking about certain things, I found myself also being held accountable to what her non-negotiables were too. And I think in any healthy dynamic, as adults, you have to be able to communicate even during frustration. And I always say what I do, but also not mentioning enough what she is allowing or what she is not going for, what she ain't, because
she checked me all the time. All the time. She has a very strategic way of going about certain things, just like I have a strategic way about going about things. And I think in that dynamic, which is sacred, that we don't share certain things. Like we are very much, hey, we talking, let's talk. No tweet, hold on, baby. Mommy and daddy got to get some straight there. Hey, Cho, oh, no. Close that door, Caesar, close that door. We got to talk real quick. And it's not a dictatorship in a relationship. It's a, tell me how you feel. I'm gonna tell you how I feel and how we move forward. Right before we leave, right, I want to list a couple things because with Valentine's Day approaching, right, the lover's holiday, probably your favorite.
For sure.
I want to get into like, is gift giving a man thing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. When is the perfect time to give a gift or the first gift in a relationship?
When that spirit hits you that you want to, when you deem that person worthy enough, the perfect time for me is when they have no ideas coming. I think the best gifts come off the element of surprise. I think for a man to understand that, you always be ahead. The proposal, the engagement, the flowers. Most women just want to know you care enough to do so. Do it on a surprise.
Now, should gift giving be done in stages?
I think so. I think, and the reason I think so is because a lot of times we talk about love bombing. You hear this word going around here, love bombing, but nobody ever talks about the other end. Maybe the gift you gave, that grand gesture, is just who you are as a person, right? But maybe that's the reason they fell in love with you. See, it's a lot of people can absorb that bomb and it becomes the whole essence of why they actually like you. You want to stay away from that.
So for the people who are in search of love, would you say go all out?
I think that's a good point about the gift giving. It's like, you know, it's not always just like love bombing thing. Sometimes someone is like genuinely like, that's how they show interest. Sometimes someone pull up with a gift on day one, day two. And it's not like necessarily love bombing. So anyway, that's just a small little point. We about to wrap. I'm ready to go.
Or
next time I might do. I really want y'all to tell me like how the double speed is working for you, like because I might, you know, in order to get more content out or do more stuff, you know, because this is not my full time. It's not. Maybe it will be sometime. I don't know, y'all. I need your support in order to do that. But should I do double speed on reaction videos so that we can kind of get to the stuff, you know, or is like regular speed? Like, do you end up making it double speed when I'm not double speeding it? Tell me how you feel about that in the comments.
Give yourself in phases and spurts.
I would say, I wouldn't necessarily call it either. I'm right in the middle, because if you're being who you are by nature, it'll come across as even. All the way even. If you can understand that I'm a man who enjoys buying flowers, it's not going to be in spurts. It's going to be often. It's going to be when you choose to do so or when you see it fit. So I think grand gestures are for either one or two things. Those who can afford to do it in those moments and don't care about it, or those who actually care enough to do it.
What I'll say is this. Don't give the illusion as if this is what you can expect if you can't keep that expectation up.
For sure.
I think when I talk to women a lot, that's their thing. It's like, bro, man, the first couple of months, this dude was showing up. And then all of a sudden, when he got me, it's like that feeling just exited. And even for men, it's like, yo, she used to be so boom about her stuff. And then all of a sudden, when we got together, it's just, what happened? You feel what I'm saying? I think people get this confused.
Yeah, that keeps up.
Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that your self-evolution stops. That's whether physically, spiritually, emotionally. When you get in a relationship, that's when it starts. That's the ground. It's how do you get better to the version that you are.
Kim got some good stuff, y'all. Kim got some good stuff. Demetri got some good stuff too. So it's good. It's good. But you know, Kim's got some good stuff. I kind of like. If I had to pick a side, y'all, because some people want me to pick sides. People want me to pick sides. If I had to pick a side, y'all, I know you want me to say it. I would pick Cam's side. Okay, I would pick Cam's side based on the realities. How he's able to be more real, more concrete. And, you know, I like that. I think that that's something you could really work with and something you can really, it's really like what you see is what you get. Like what I'm telling you is really for real. And I think it's a lot harder to trust somebody that wants to bring you to Never Never Land and you realize it never existed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Cam, that was good. I'm snapping at myself.
And just because you meet a person, you were such a health freak. Now all of a sudden, baby, we Netflix and chilling too much.
Hey.
Look what happened. It's like, yo, baby, homeboy, like you led with flowers. I would get just spontaneous, you know, letters. But all of a sudden, like, what happened? They stopped dating once they got the carrot. Once they bit the carrot, it's almost like, boom, I'm done. No, that's when it starts, homeboy. That's when it starts, homegirl. And that's what people should know. Good, bad, or indifferent. Choose the person that you're going to still love in spite of. That's true love. As we keep going, Valentine's Day is around the corner, as mentioned. What's your advice for single people?
Oh, what's my advice? Go the fuck outside. Everybody's single in the house. Everybody's single and complaining about love and it's not finding them. Motherfuckers' options is the Amazon driver, the goddamn Uber Eats man, like the maintenance man. Like, people ain't giving themselves valid options. A lot of times you find your partner on accident. You bump into him and it's a conversation you never knew you needed. Like, you have to be outside in order to meet people. It don't matter. Whatever your hobbies are, frequent those hobbies. If you love the gym, go to the gym. If you see, people fear so bad. They fear getting it wrong so bad. Cam, I got a tattoo on my arm that says life is on the other side of fear. Literally. If I never test it, I can never know the greatest heights of life. That's why skydiving is so fucking beautiful. Just jump. Like, everybody's scared to jump. You're going to get it wrong. But if I fail 500 times and I get it right once, I only need it to be right once.
But skydiving, if you get that wrong, you go die.
Niggas say you gonna die. That's why they got the emergency nigga on your back. You see what I'm saying? That's why they got the...
It's a long jump. But what I would say to second that in closing is get uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to get uncomfortable.
Facts.
Right? I think oftentimes people are bleeding on people that did not cut them. And that takes time. It's not to say my relationship advice, my personal advice for anybody is like, yo, go on that date by yourself. Go travel by yourself. Hey, go eat that food that you enjoy by yourself. Go work out by yourself. Go find certain things and stick to it. I think the merit of, for me, is like, if I tell myself that I want to work out, that's me having to deal with myself. If I don't do that, I let myself down. I can't rain check myself. It's like, no, we get it tomorrow. I'm like, nah, because you keep score on you. So, yeah, bro. Demetri, it's been real, bro.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, man.
You feel me? As we end things here, Funky Friday. When I say all together, we're going to say one love. When I say all together, we're going to say one love. When I say all together, we're going to say what? One love. We're going to start with this camera, then we're going to go to your camera, then we're going to finish with our camera. It's going to look simply like this. One finger, then you're going to add the pinky right here, then you're going to add the thumb right there. When I say all together, we're going to say what? Here we go. One hand out, one finger, one pinky, one thumb. All together, one love. Ladies and gentlemen, Demetri, my guy. Oh, thank you, guys.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me, man.
All right. That is the video. I will be curious to know what you think in the comments. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.